Hola, hola, ¿cómo están? Espero que estén muy bien. As you can see from the description for this live, I have with me a very, very special guest, amiga mia, master teacher extraordinaire with over 15 years experience teaching the language, and you'll see all our awesomeness throughout this video. Today, I even forgot to say my name. My name is Simonette, and with me today I have the lovely Stephanie Blair Allen, Master Teacher Extraordinaire. Hola,
Hola,
¿cómo estás?
buenas tardes. Estoy bien. ¿Cómo estás?
Estoy muy bien, gracias, y me alegro que estés muy bien. All right, so I see persons are already joining, and as you would have seen, guys, from the description, we are going to be doing some paper two practice with special emphasis on letter writing. And I would have seen Mrs. Blair Allen with this presentation. I'm telling you, let me not tell them all of it, but I loved it, and I know you guys will learn a lot from it. So thank you for joining us. Muchísimas gracias.
My
I'm just
absolute
excited to
pleasure.
be here.
Nice.
All right. So, when just any tips for those students who are getting ready? Because I know they would have done the oral examination already, and on June 6th, if nothing changes, they will be doing their paper two exam. So, do you have anything that you want to say to them before you provide them with your masterpiece?
Most definitely. All right. So, students, they always say practice makes perfect. And that is
Right.
how you approach Spanish. I actually used to fail Spanish up to fifth form. I'll never forget my Easter terminal examination just before CXC, and I wrote, "The dog ate the elevator." And it took me
Ooh.
approximately 5 minutes to remember that I cannot conjugate el ascensor because there are no such thing. There's no such
Oh.
thing as OR verbs. I, it can be rough. Estudiantes, I'm telling you, it can be rough. And my teacher challenged me. She said, grab your first form books. Luckily, I had them. Go all the way from basics and come up to subjunctive. And that's exactly what I did. And that is when my passion for Spanish came alive. I'm like, oh, I did the problem. It wasn't Spanish. All along, I'm like, I just can't do Spanish. It's too hard. And then I realized my approach was wrong. I wasn't practicing enough, so I couldn't remember anything. Simple things such as L, la, I
Right.
couldn't remember. So, students, practice. Practice, practice. It's not too late. Get the practice in. Do your verb drills. Study some idioms. Go over your tenses. Get the vocab in for the 6 themes. You can do it. See, se puede.
Wait, I love that because somebody might be watching now and say, "Oh, exam is the sixth. I can't do anything." You still have some time.
Still have
That is
time.
a message. Si se puede, and you
Definitely.
still have time. So for paper two, guys, you know that we have four sections. So today we'll be focusing on letter writing. So I'm just going to sit over here and hand over to our master teacher extraordinaire, Mrs. Blair Allen. And guys,
Muchísimas
if you are
gracias.
here on the live, it's interactive. You can put your questions in the chat, your comments in the chat, and we look forward to hearing from you. Just remember, it takes practice. So just keep practicing, keep going. And any questions you have throughout, feel free to let us know. All right, so let me just add this to the stream. Las cartas. So we'll be looking at letter writing. All right, just let me know if you are able to switch, or if you need me to switch, I can do it also. Um,
Okay.
Buenas
Yes.
tardes. We have a teacher of Spanish,
Me
Miss Renee
too.
Grant. She is
Buenas
here in the building.
tardes. Awesome. Great.
Yes. I see some other persons here. If feel free to write your name in the chat with school you're representing, so we can go ahead and give you your shout out. But we appreciate each and every one, and I see more people joining. Do you
And
need
of
me to move?
course, Yes, I am able to move it. And of course,
Okay.
estudiantes, this session is for you. I'm here
See.
to serve you. We're here to serve you. So if you have a question, anything that you need to be clarified, use up the
See.
chat section. Okay? Bueno. So, of course, section B of paper 2, everything is now compulsory. Once upon a time, we had a choice between a composition and a letter, but now we all have to do the letter. And can I tell you, personally, I prefer the letter because it's the same 130 to 150 words, and you can actually arm yourself ready going in with paragraphs 1 and 3, your opening lines, etc. Once you practice enough, I can't emphasize enough the importance of practicing. Once you practice enough, that part will be easy. So you're going in with approximately 50 words
See.
comfortably, and you're good to go. Now, ensure that you read the instructions carefully for every paper that you do. You may get nervous, you may be a bit flustered, but the instructions are there to help you to remember what is expected of you. So, as I said, it's 130 minimum, 150 maximum. And of course, you'll write your letter in Spanish. So once you read all the
See.
instructions and you read your cues, you say, okay, let me gather my thoughts. Let's see, what can I put in? And I always have some nice big words put down, like embotellamiento and inmediatamente, desafortunadamente. And I had to find a way to drop those in so my examiners know that, okay, the student here knows some nice phrases and some wonderful words. So prepare yourselves. So ensure that you are comfortable with the letter writing format. But before we go into the format, what I did was I went through the past papers for maybe 10, 15 years, and I realized that they have some topics that they'll generally ask you to write about. So you can prepare to write about a hurricane or a natural disaster. So you get your vocabulary, your phrases, your verbs ready for topics related to a hurricane,
Right.
generally traveling abroad, how you prepare for travel, where you went, what you did, with whom, where you stayed, something exciting, or unforgettable. You may have a work experience abroad. Sometimes they'll just drop this one in. You're abroad, you're there working, and you met a famous person. So they're looking to see the famous person that you would have met, who it was, what was special about the interaction,
Right.
places of interest. And I normally instruct my students get familiar with at least one Spanish speaking country so you can include authentic information. So you're talking about the country, the activities that you do there. You talk about the food, the currency. The information should just be authentic.
Right. All right. Awesome. And I see more people joining. Guys,
Oh,
remember to tell us
awesome.
which school you are from and any questions that you might have. See.
So you may talk about a new school experience. You went to another country and you're now at a new school or within your same country. A party that you went to, I know that should be exciting. Or maybe a class trip, a competition that you participated in, and some prizes that you would have won. An exchange program that includes studying abroad. It could be a summer job or an eventful day taking care of your siblings, a new job, going to a concert. It's a myriad of topics. So just get comfortable with the letter writing format.
All right. I see it's frozen on my side. I don't know if you guys are seeing the same, but I know that Senora Blair Allen will be back shortly. So let me know at any point in time, also, guys, if you're not hearing us or anything in the chat. This is interactive. We want to hear from you. So we're seeing some of the possible topics or some of the previous topics. So please bear that in mind. I see Tejon from Glenmuir. Hola, hola, bienvenidos. Deshante from St. James High. Verona, hola, hola. Renee Grant, hola, hola. So we are just going to give a few moments and we wait on Mrs. Blair Allen. But each and every one of you who are here, we're going to be doing some practice, some letter writing practice. You can also let us know what you find most challenging. Yes, that was sent out. It says that the topic that's coming for letter this year is sharing information with a friend about a past experience, about a forgotten item. Yes. Buenas tardes, Tejan. Um, yes, we're going to be going through the topic and a sample. Again, if you know that it's a past experience, you want to look at the tenses that you'll need. And from time to time, usually you are asked to for future plans also. So even though something happened, what do you promise to do or what are you going to do? Please bear that in mind because the tenses and a subject verb agreement is very important. I'm just waiting on Senorita Allen. Um, Sarah May says paper three was nice. All right, let me just check to see because that the it seems as if the internet was frozen. So let's hope that oh she's back on. All right. Let me just put you back on the stream. Don't worry, it's
I'm
technology.
telling
It
you,
does that to us.
it's not technology. Flo is actually outside. They're on the light post. So when I look, I'm like, what is happening? And oh, we disconnected the internet for 5 minutes. So I'm in
Oh
a live. I'm so sorry,
yes,
mom. I don't know if you heard somebody calling hello, hello.
yes,
That
I
was
heard it. Oh, okay.
I'm
Not
using my
not today.
hotspot now.
Oh, you said
I'm
not
using my
today, Flo.
hotspot. I
Oh,
cannot believe this. I've never experienced this before. My apologies, guys, but I'm back now. I'm back.
okay. I figured the internet was down because I saw
Oh my
you
goodness.
was frozen and then but it's Monique Reed is here. We have Sierra. Sierra was saying that the topic that's coming for the letter this year is about sharing information with a friend about a past experience about a forgotten item.
Oh,
So
beautiful. Yes, I remember that
yes,
CXC sent topics this year. How
right.
blessed are you?
Yes, because she was asking if we can elaborate more on this. But I was telling her that you are going to be showing us a samplet and all of that. This is
Right.
comprehensive. So fret not thyself, Sierra May. And she said that her paper three was nice, which is very good.
Ooh,
Happy to
awesome.
hear. Off to a good
Awesome.
start. Back to you. Take it away.
All right. So I'm not seeing the PowerPoint.
Oh, once you have to just put it back. While you're doing that, I'm gonna read the chat and see what's happening.
Okay.
Yes, I'm seeing it now. All right. So, yes. Guys, remember, tell us which school you're representing. And Miss, do you remember me from paper theory revision? Yes, CCC.
Awesome.
Um, so back to you.
Remind me of this year's topic.
The topic is about sharing information with friends with a friend about a past experience about a
Okay.
forgotten item.
So definitely brush up on your preteritense, right? What you did or what someone else did or nosotros. So ensure
Right.
that you have your preteritense ready for your letter since you're
Right.
talking about a past experience.
And what I also told them, with the past, and sometimes you find that you're told to give something in the future. What is it that you're gonna do in the
That's
future, or
true.
if you
Or
made
what
a
you'll do
promise or
differently.
something,
Mhm.
right? So we want to take that into consideration. All right, back over to you.
Okay, awesome. So the instructions can be a bit misleading, but remember, your teachers would have informed you that
Right,
absolutely no address should be used. So the instruction
right,
would be do not use your real name or address. So it's telling you do not use your real name unless you're blessed with a Spanish name, and do not use any address at all. It's not saying do not use your real address. Do not include an address, any at
Correct.
all. So that simply means you will start off with your date and it will be indented to the right. You'll have your appropriate salutations, include the relevant information requested. Remember your closing lines. You can't just cut it off as if it's a composition. Wrap up
Yes.
it up, right? So have your closing lines ready as well as your closure. So I normally say choose one Spanish name, ensure that you can spell it correctly. So for example, you're using Susana, you want to put a double N, or
What's
if you're
your
using
Spanish name?
Isabella. My Spanish name, I'm boring. I'm always Pablo. Even though
Well,
I
I'm
meet you as
Esperanza. I stay
Esperanza.
Esperanza. I have a last name for my
What's the last
Esperanza
name?
de la Montaña. De la
Oh,
Montaña.
interesante. Me encanta. I'm simply Pablo. No
Pablo.
issues, no challenges. I'm Pablo and I'm always writing to Maria.
Okay. So, or if they want to be Mario and write to Pablo, either
There
way,
you
they can
go.
flip it.
But just stick to a simple name, a common
Right.
name that you spell accurately. So give yourself a Spanish name. So read the context carefully. Ensure that you understand clearly what the situation is and what you are writing about. And do not leave any of your cues out. Include every single thing that is requested of you. So, as I said earlier, we'll start with our date. Now, I have an example there of the date, and I got specific correspondence from CXC saying that the L in front of the dos is not necessary. So just start with the numeral,
Right.
whatever date it is, 2 de febrero de, and you'd put 2022, 2022. Now, remember that we use common letters for the months of the year. Now, what if CXC says you're writing in Christmas time to your friend? Would you put a February date? Would you put a summer date?
Let's see what they're writing. What would you put if you're writing during the Christmas time? Those who are on live, tell us quickly. Think they might have a 5 second delay, but let's see
Okay.
who is gonna come with the answer first.
So, not because it's a specific time or the actual date, you have to ensure that you are within the context, fully within the context. Any responses as yet?
No, I guess they're typing it now.
Okay,
But
wait.
let's see. Let's see who will be the first person to write. I see somebody from Glenmuir. I don't. Tejon is
Oh,
here from Glenmuir.
nice.
Monique Reed is here from St. James High. And Tejon says el 25 o 24 de diciembre
Ooh,
de 2022.
muy bien. There you go. So the date should make sense within the
Right.
context. So not because we're in June and it's the 3rd of June means automatically that's the date you'll be using for your letter. Bueno, continuemos. Now, the next section of our letter is the salutation. So we'll use querido if you're writing to Pablo, like myself, or
Right.
querida if you're writing to a female. So ensure you have your Spanish name. So don't write to Simonette or Stephanie.
No.
The Spanish versions. So I'll be Estefania. Is there a
See,
Spanish version for your name, Simonette?
people always just say Simone, and it's completely different. So it's not really me anymore.
There you go.
Simone.
Well, I'm making one up. I'll call you Simoneta.
Sí,
There you
Simonetta.
go. All right.
Gracias.
So I have my examples here. Querido Pablo, querida Anita. Please do not mix the genders. Be
I was
gender
just
specific. Be gender specific. So if you're going to use a male name, ensure that you have querido. And likewise, if you're going to use a female name, ensure that it's querida that you have right there.
And those are some small things, but it
They're
shows that you
important.
know what you're
Yes,
doing. So
they're
don't just
important.
hurry. Yes,
Does
you're
it just
working
be a
with
turn
time.
off? I'm marking
Yes,
this letter. Querida Maria, up to the student, querido Maria. The
yes,
student is not thinking, you know?
right.
Simple matching. So it's simple, but it's very important.
Yes,
Now, I normally recommend using 3 paragraphs, right? But some persons recommend 4. That's perfectly fine. Whatever it
right.
is your teacher tells you to do. But I normally recommend 3. I find it easier that way. Now, for paragraph 1, don't forget this part. Give some greetings. You're writing to a friend, right?
See,
So CXC wants you to write a friendly letter. You're not going to write a business letter. Okay? So it's a friendly letter. You're writing to a friend. So I'm expecting to see familiar language there. So it's okay to say ¿qué tal? But if you
see,
want to be polite to your friend, no hay problema. That's perfectly fine as well. Also, in paragraph 1, you state why it is you're writing. Can you imagine you're writing a letter to your friend and it's way down the bottom? Oh,
I
I
was.
wanted to write about what took place last week. Seriously, you tell me that from paragraph 1. You're stressing me out. Okay? So, after the greetings, state the purpose of the letter. Paragraph 2, pretty easy. Everything that they ask for. So, if they ask for 5 things, you have 5 cues. You could include 4 of them in paragraph 2 and you save 1 for paragraph 3 if you want. Okay, that's not a problem. But if you want to include all the information requested in paragraph 2, that's perfectly fine. Whichever you find to be easier. Remember, you want to be as comfortable as possible. I don't want anybody getting too nervous and you're unsure and you're worried or flustered. So have your plan ready, and as much as is possible, you're going to stick to that plan. Now, the final paragraph, that's where you close off. Don't leave your pen pal hanging. Don't just broops. And that's what happened in my past experience. Okay, adios. And that's it. Close off nicely. Give all the nice closing lines that I'm about to show to you in a few minutes. And remember your closure. So let's look more closely at paragraph 1. So you'll tell your friend, what's up? Wagwan. How are
See,
things? How are you doing? So, ¿cómo estás? Don't use both ¿cómo estás and qué tal? Right?
right.
One is enough.
Choose
You
one.
don't want to be asking your friend 10 times, 10 different ways, how are you?
Hola, hola Estefanía, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué tal?
¿Qué
¿Cómo
hay?
va? ¿Qué
¿Qué
hay?
pasa? I'm
I've
like,
been
what
looking
you
at you
say?
like, hold on, something is wrong. So yes,
So
let's
one
choose
will
one.
suffice. Just choose the one that you love. And this is just an example. There are way more lines that you can use to open with. Just choose whatever you find to be easy and whatever makes sense. So another example, espero que estés bien. That's our subjunctive popping out there, and the examiner will say, come through with the
Yes.
subjunctive. And then
See?
espero que tengas buena salud. You can say, I hope your family is fine.
Yes.
Now, let's say this is a conversation now. Your friend wrote you a letter about exams, and this is your letter following that. You could say, ¿Cómo fueron tus exámenes? So make it seem as if you guys do have a relationship and you're following up on what was discussed in previous letters. You can actually do that as well. Again, recibí tu carta sobre. So you can imagine that your friend would have sent you a letter and you say, yeah, I got the letter. Finally, your purpose. Escribo esta carta sobre, and you mention whatever it is that CXC asks you to write about. And we have other options. Te escribo para decirte que estoy
See?
escribiendo. You can use any phrase to state the purpose. Just ensure that you don't swat it and then you scramble and you mix up the words. Just ensure that you keep it simple and you communicate effectively. So for paragraph 1, you can use approximately 25 words, right? So you're going in armed with 25 words already. Paragraph 2, drop in some idioms. A
See,
más no poder. Voy a pasarlo bomba, or lo pasé bomba. I had a great time. And you're dropping some expressions. ¡Qué excelente!
see,
Puedes imaginarlo. And you make it
see.
exciting and engaging because you're talking to your friend. You're not reading a news report or you're not
Yes.
reading an announcement. Make it as interactive as you can.
And
Do
you're
not
not with your friend like stiff,
idiom.
like starched. You want
Yes.
it to be,
Add
yes.
some personality. Add some personality.
Yes.
And if you're a
And they
person,
have the words too.
mhm,
No, I'm saying the students have the words.
yes,
Sometimes
they
they,
do.
it's after they come out of the exam, they're like, I
Ah,
should have put. No,
you
don't be
use
that,
it
don't
up,
be that
man.
guy. Use
Use
it
it
up.
up and drop in your inmediatamente and de
Hmm.
repente.
See,
Use up your phrases. You know them. You know them. Just drop them in nicely. And wow, your examiners. Okay.
see,
All right. So for the final paragraph, which will be including your farewell, I recommend another 25 words. So that's why I say you can be armed with up to 50 words going into your letter. And you
right,
just have to worry about 100. So ensure that you have your opening and your closing lines ready. Pues, tengo que irme ahora. Tengo que terminar la carta. Adiós. Escríbeme pronto. I love this one. Te extraño. Te
see,
echo de menos. Because you miss your friend. You probably would have seen the friend every day or every weekend. And now you have to be resorting to letter writing. So you can use
see,
either te extraño or te echo de menos. You can say hi to mommy or say hi to baby brother. As I
right,
said, you have a relationship with this person. Saluda a tu madre para mí. Espero tu respuesta. I'm awaiting your response. Abrazos y besos. And again, these are just examples. You have way more exciting closing lines that you can use. So, whatever it is you're practicing at school, ensure that you would have memorized it and you will include them. But do not forget to close off your letter. That's an important element in letter
see.
writing. So
That means
again,
it's not finished. If you
do
don't
not
close it, that
use,
means you're not finished.
right, don't leave your friend hanging. So you have your Spanish name because they don't want you to use your real name that was written in the instruction. Clearly stated, do not use your real name. So again, come up with a simple Spanish name that you'll remember that you can spell. Tu amigo, a male name, tu amiga, a female name. And I have Marco with tu amigo and Selena with tu amiga. Easy cheesy peasy, right? So
Right, guys? Those are in the chat. Are
teachers
you
love
with
to say it's
us?
easy, but
With-
that'd be easy. So let's see some positive responses in the chat.
You
It
saw
is easy.
Tejan's response? He said, what if I want to say to compa instead of to amigo?
I don't know
That's
that one. Are you familiar with that one?
I think he is the shortening for to compadre. But
Ah,
I would suggest you stick with to amigo.
right.
For in this
Sometimes
case.
you see, because you have so many variations of the Spanish, your examiner may not necessarily know that one. So
Right.
it is safer to use these two, or here are some common options. Besos, con cariño.
See.
Do you have any other, Simonet?
Like I
Cariñosamente.
love to use besos y abrazos, or depending on who I'm writing to, I might just give them just besos,
Mm,
or I might just give them just abrazos. But
right.
if I want more words, and it depends on who, I
Yeah,
put
that's
both of
true.
them besos
That's true.
y abrazos.
Sometimes you really just need those words. You need those
Yes,
words.
because sometimes you look and you need some more words. So instead of just saying textraño, which is just two words, you could use the other one that is four.
Eso de menos. That's right.
See, right.
That's
So we
right.
want to know how many words we have already and how many words we need. And there's, but with that being said, and a grain of salt, some persons now start overdoing it.
I
Everything
was
is
just gonna
bad.
say that. So let's say they're talking about a meal that they had. They had
Yes.
hamburguesas, queso, torta, helado, pan,
See,
pescado, paella, and
same.
then it's
This,
15 meals, and they say, okay, that's 20 words.
yes, and then they add in cebollas, things that, and this, and yes. So even if the words are correct to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, Verona says, "Tu amiga que te quiere."
Ooh, that's a
That's
lovely
nice. Not
one.
true.
She's
Tu
showing off
amiga.
on us, isn't she?
Yes,
I love
tu
that.
amiga.
Nice. Yeah, man.
Tejan
Use
said,
it up.
"Draped." Seems as if we were preaching.
Teja, don't do it. Please, I'm begging you, don't do it.
And
All
it's
right?
throughout the exam, overall throughout the exam, because I've seen persons, because you know the word in English, you directly translate it also, and then you want to say, for example, my mom is at, you know how to say your mom is a teacher, but you wanted to change it and put some glorious thing, but you don't know the words for it. It's not a lie detector test. Put the one that you know once it is
Yep.
correct also, because sometimes you're
CXU.
trying to, oh, she's an she works somewhere, anywhere, cosmetologist, ear hostess, but you cannot remember the word. She can be a professora.
See?
So yes.
CXC is not going to come and do a background check and say, wait, no
See,
mommy that in a nurse uniform and say she was a
as
teacher.
a teacher,
They're not
yes,
going to do that.
they're
Yes,
not
I don't
doing
know.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to worry too much about that. Just make it correct and use words that you know, and try practice using Spanish. So don't use Google translate it from and then try. No, don't. Try thinking in Spanish. Your teacher will be able to guide you, or whoever is helping can say, oh, I see what you're trying to say here, but this is the reason why. But when you start depending heavily on Google in the exam, you won't have them. So we
That's
have
right.
to practice using the language.
And at this point, Simone, what they should really be doing is going through past paper questions and sitting, timing themselves on the
Right.
exam conditions and write that letter. And that's the
It's true.
only way you'll be able to know, oh, I keep messing up the purpose, or I'm
Right.
forgetting the closure,
Right.
or I need to work on the your form of the future tense because I don't remember it. But when you rely so much on Google Translate, you do not know what you really don't know until you get into the exam.
Yes.
Like, I really didn't, wow, it would be too
Yes.
late now to
Yes.
fix the problem. So, without your dictionary, without your notebook, sit and write a letter, and then you'll see what your
What
strengths
you know.
are as well
Right.
as what your weaknesses. Trust me, it
And
really
that
works.
makes, and I love that. I love what you just said. Sit and time yourself so you can know and don't get dejected. Because some persons, oh, when they realize, oh, I don't know this, that does not mean that you're failing. As I always say to my students, you only fail when you stop trying. So
That's right.
if without Google and without the dictionary and without any help, you were able to just write the greetings, the beginning paragraph, how are you, and all of that, and you got to the purpose, and you really at the time couldn't get it, then you know what you need to work on it.
And you
Maybe after
focus
you
on it.
try the second time, you're able to do just one of the cues. You're getting better and better,
That's
so just
right.
don't give up and practice.
Excellent. Love that.
See.
Now, there are some general phrases that you can add in. So let's say you're listing a sequence of events. You're
Right.
talking about a past experience. So something happened and then and later. Instead of saying entonces, entonces, and you're repeating the same word, you can use luego, and then you go on to
See.
use más tarde, and then
See.
después, and then entonces. So you can use a variety of phrases that will help to just let the sentences flow better. You don't just
And
want to
show the
write.
examiner. And it
That's
also
right.
shows the examiner that you have a variety when it comes to your
Yes.
vocabulary, and not just E. At least you gave some words. I've seen E. E, E, E. So they want to say this
Right.
and.
We
So
don't
you
talk
want
like
to.
that. We do not talk like that. So the punctuation will work just the same. You use your commas if you're listing, and the and will go just before the last word.
See.
You use your full stops. The only thing that's different is the inverted exclamation mark and the inverted
See.
question sign. But we use a semicolon,
Right.
colon, everything just the same. So don't bother with the
E, E,
e,
E,
e, e, e, e.
E.
And then when you look at it, you realize, like, how
But-
could I have written so much e?
Yes.
So don't fall into those traps. And Simonette, sometimes we focus so much on the big words that we forget the little ones,
See.
like or and but
Mm-hmm.
and with.
See.
So you
See.
have to strike a balance. So we can use pues, no
See.
obstante, sin embargo, por eso, and these will make your sentences flow smoothly. You're telling a story. You're informing your friend of what took place in the past and you want it to flow nicely.
See.
And here are some of my words now.
Sí, de
De
repente.
repente. Always find a way to drop that in. Even if it
Oye,
didn't happen
no matter,
suddenly, I'm
no
putting
matter
in my
what,
de repente.
de repente.
Right. Afortunadamente,
Sí,
desafortunadamente. Hello, make sure you spell them properly.
sí,
A menudo
sí,
is another nice one. A
sí,
veces. Por supuesto.
supuesto. Sí.
En efecto. Vamos al grano.
I love that one. Vamos
Yes.
al grano. Let's
Yes. I
get
got
to the
this one
point.
from Dr. Kevon. And I've been
Oh,
using it since. I love it. I love
vamos
it.
al grano.
Grano.
Sí,
There
sí,
you
sí.
go.
So guys, I hope you're screenshotting it. It will be on my on my YouTube channel here, also in the CSEC playlist. So if you didn't catch everything, you can just go back, pause the video, and screenshot at the end of the video. All
Okay.
right.
Awesome. So I just realized that some of this is missing, just the closure, part of the closure. So you'll notice there's no date,
There's
and
no
this one,
address.
no, there's no address. I just had a senior moment. So we start off with the date.
See.
You don't need to write out the words for the 27 or the 2022. Use your numerals, that's perfectly acceptable. And this one is a bit boasty. Instead of querido, queridísimo, my
Riquísimo.
very, very dear, wonderful
Pedro.
Pedro. All
See.
right. So here we have our sample opening paragraph. ¿Qué tal? What's up? I hope you're
Yeah.
fine and all is well with your family.
See.
I got your letter with much pleasure, and I couldn't write to you until now. So I guess you were busy, maybe with
See.
exams or chores, etc. But despite everything, let's get to it.
Get to the point.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Me gusta.
So so the purpose isn't right here, but the way how it's structured, it's just nice and
See.
sweet. Nice and sweet. Okay. And see the sin embargo right there, which made everything just flow. Despite all of this, nevertheless, let's get
Yes.
to it. And you'd include two or three cues here, two or three there, or if you want to put everything together, no hay problema. As long as you include it,
Right.
makes sense, and the information is good, all will be well. And then the closing line here, well, I have to finish up now. It's very late, and I'm tired. I
And,
have,
and, and you see that idiom, estoy muerto de
yeah,
cansancio.
yes, I wasn't able to see it fully.
Sí.
The
Y
children
por
was blocking
supuesto,
it. Nice.
tengo que ir a la escuela por la madrugada. Quiero que me
Right.
escribas cuanto antes.
And is it a nice subjunctive?
Yes.
Quiero que
Me
me
es.
escribas. And then cuanto antes, that's another phrase. As soon as possible. Or lo
Sí.
antes posible. So you have different versions that exist. Choose the one that's easiest for you and
Sí.
work with it. Okay, and then the closure would have been here at the end, con cariño, and of course your Spanish name.
Okay. All right. And Tejan says, this is the shell I always use. Monique
Yes,
says
it's
she's
a
not
nice
seeing it
shell.
clearly. I guess it might have to do with the internet.
I have
What
a,
we
a
connecting
PDF
with.
version that I don't know if we could get a link for it and you can share it in the description.
Oh, okay. Let me try. I'll try that.
Okay, so I'll send that to you. Sorry about that,
Okay.
Monique.
Oh, but I can send it to. Well, let me try it in the description for those who I don't have their contact.
And you
Monique
can
is one
send
of
it to
my
Monique.
students, so I can
Oh,
actually send it
awesome.
to her.
So don't worry, Monique. You'll get it in
Is
hand.
there is there anybody else that was having any challenge responding to the question? Anybody with any challenges? Yeah, are you senior with us? Everybody's with us so far.
So
All
normally
right.
most students will freak out and say, "Why? I hate the letter, I hate the dialogue,
Yes.
because I have to be
But
writing, but it's really not a lot of words."
and you already go in there right now with
Mm-hmm.
the armor that you just gave us, the gift el regalo of
See?
approximately 50 words. So
Mm-hmm.
guys, you're not starting from scratch. You can go in the exam with up to 50 words.
You're
Tejan,
right.
yes, says he's following us. Okay. All right. Seguimos, entonces.
All right.
All right. You want me to read
Yes,
what I'm
please.
seeing here?
I can't see everything.
Let me see if I can make it any bigger though. Hold on. Yes. Guys, are you able to see this a little better? Please let me know in the chat. All right, let me
Much better.
try one more and see if I can get it way bigger. Oh no, that was the biggest. All right. I was trying to see if I could get it to look bigger. All right, CSEC 2007. All right, you're writing a letter to your friend who has asked you about your recent birthday party. Be sure to describe one, the dishes that were served. And again, you need to look at it because sometimes we get excited and we're not answering the question. When
That's
you
right.
write
We talk about the
first,
DJ and the gifts and
yes,
everything except
what was
the
asked.
dishes.
So the dishes that were served, some of the interesting persons who attended, three, a special activity that took place, and the final cue says the gifts you received. So that was the cue, and this is the sample letter. So, as Stephanie said earlier, the date. So the date is there, and again, queridísimo Pedro, and ¿qué tal? Espero que estés bien y que todo vaya bien con tu familia. So we have our greeting there. Recibí tu carta. Oh, this is what you read earlier.
Right.
Recibí tu
Same
carta
one.
con mucho gusto, pero no pude escribirte hasta que ahora. Sin embargo, a pesar de todo, vamos al grano.
And
So
if
you'd
you
have
wanted to
seen that.
add the purpose, that's
Right.
fine as well.
Right. So the purpose, no. Let's look at what was there and see if everything. So it says, el viernes pasado a eso de las 10 de la noche celebré mi cumpleaños con una fiesta. Antes de la fiesta, yo compré la ropa a la moda. A la fiesta servimos el pollo y arroz, la sopa y, por supuesto, la torta.
There you
Mis
go.
amigos y miembros de mi familia vinieron. También mi cantante favorito Taylor Swift asistió.
And you can add any celebrity you want. Make
Yes,
it your own. So there
right,
we have the dishes and the
right,
interesting people. So that's Q1 and 2.
right. So when you're writing to that, what Stephanie just did is very important. You want to look back. Did I put the first thing? Did I put the second thing? All right. And then it says I have to move this a little because the screen. Hold on. Gonna put a las 12 en punto, sorry, lo siento. A las 12 en punto, mi papá llegó y me dijo, hola. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom this thing up. Y me dio, I said me dijo, y me dio las llaves de un nuevo carro. No pude dar los créditos a los ojos. All right, hold on. Estaban con la boca abierta.
Idiom.
Estaba loco de alegría.
Another idiom.
Right.
Nice.
Además, recibí una computadora en efecto dinero. This person got
Hey.
a lot of gifts. Hold on,
Yes.
I'm gonna have to move us off the screen because I can't see the next. All
All
right,
right.
yes, so we're off the screen for a second. Um, ok, debo terminar la carta ahora mismo porque hoy en día debo hacer los quehaceres. After all of what he got, he must do los quehaceres. ¿Puedes creerlo? Quiero que me escribas cuanto antes. Con cariño, Ana. All right, so let me just put us back on the screen. And guys, if you're seeing, can you tell us if you saw all the things? Did you just see a special activity that took place? And also, did you see the gifts that were received? Okay, we're back on screen and let's see if anybody saw the last two cues. And when you're watching, maybe you'll just have to pause it and then get the screen a little bigger. And
Right.
you should be okay. All right. Let's see. Anybody with us that saw the last two cues? But while we're waiting on those persons to write, this person got a lot of things for their birthday.
Can I tell you? And it
Carro
was,
nuevo, computadora y dinero.
yep. And it was well articulated.
Sí.
A lot of idiomatic expressions were used. Very nice.
Yes.
Once you get the chance to drop them in, estudiantes, drop them right in. Show you
You're one.
exactly that you're ready.
Your one would work right here. De repente, mi papa, because you just put it. Because sometimes people
Oh,
just put it here,
Lord.
but you have to find somewhere where it would work. So suddenly, my father came out and gave me my car keys or something, or but we can't just say we have to make sure wherever we're putting it, it
It
makes
makes sense, right? And suddenly I got cash.
sense.
That wouldn't work at all, at all.
Yes.
You know, sometimes when you run out of words, you can just drop in, que excelente,
Sí.
que
Qué alegría.
fantástico,
Sí.
que bueno.
Right.
Puedes
But
imaginar.
make sure it's something fantastical that's
That's
happening.
true. That's
Because if
true.
the thing asks you about something sad, don't say, "Ay, qué fantástico! Perdí mi llave." And they're like, "What?" You can't lose your key and you're saying, "I'm
Right.
happy." So again, you want to know some words like "que terrible," those
Qué
words too, so you know
triste, qué
when
horror.
yes. So if it's something bad, we're looking for those kind of words. And if it's great, don't go over there and go say que horror. Please. You want to say que alegría or those kinds of words. Que fantástico.
The examiner would be like, what's going on here?
What's happening? All right,
Oh
guys.
boy.
So let us know if you're hearing us, if you're with us. Um, right now, Stephanie is going over to the tips. Are you guys still with us? Let's see if Flo disconnected their internet also. So let's take a
I really
moment
hope not.
and see. So if you're with us at this moment, um, please let us know in the chat and you can go ahead and give them the tips.
Okay. So time management is important. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes,
15
right?
minutes. See,
Leave your 15 minutes at least for reading over.
see,
Do the letter and the situations first if you can,
see.
because it would be such a pity to run out of time and you finish the reading comprehension or the
Contextual.
contextual dialogue. Those were just 20 marks, as
Right.
opposed to not finishing your letter or your situations, which would have been weighted much heavier, 30
See,
marks each. So manage your time well. And when you see that time is running out, move on to the next section.
Right.
Do the ones that you find to be less challenging, you run through it, and then you have more time to spend on the challenging ones. So
See.
ensure that you leave enough time to read over everything that you write. We're not perfect. We'll make
See.
simple mistakes, and when you see it, you're like, I really wrote that.
And
So read over.
you said something, and sometimes I know it happened. I can't be the only one that this happened to either. You have it in your head,
Mm-hmm.
perfect,
Perfect.
perfect. Couldn't be more perfect in your head. One either comes to your mouth, or when you write it down, you're like, but this is not what I had in my head.
Mm-mm.
So yes,
Mm-mm.
you want to read over and
Yes.
try to, when you're reading over, read what you have on the paper too, because sometimes, because we intend to say I am a girl, or estoy bien, for example, I'm fine, or estoy muy bien, estoy muy and then bien. But you write estoy bien and leave out the muy. And when you're reading over, because it's in your head saying
Yes.
estoy muy bien, you're still seeing muy. So you have to ensure that what you want to say is on the paper, because the examiner won't be there to say, I know that Stephanie wanted to say muy bien right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I want to make sure.
Hmm. Or Stephanie would never make that mistake. That's my star student.
Yes.
They don't know whose paper it is and they don't know
Right.
you. So ensure
Right.
that you give the best at all times. So
Right.
you read over, ensure that you have your date, common letter, your salutations. If it's a male, it's masculine. If it's a female, it's feminine. Your greetings, purpose, all of the cues. Check carefully. You cannot get full marks, even if your grammar is perfect and you eliminated one of the cues, you cannot get full marks. So
See.
ensure that you have all your cues. Check for grammar. So you may have ella fueron,
See.
and you know it should be ella fue. You might have put an accent on the fue, and then you check over and like, oh, but there's no accent for fue. That's one of the Pritchett conjugations with no accents. Check your spellings carefully, carefully,
Right.
carefully.
And also what I find happens all the time too is some people just don't conjugate the verb. So you say ea comer.
Bailar.
You don't break it down, or ea bailar. Or also, you know that there's some like after querer, or the verb ir a, boy a bailar, not boy a bailo or boy a bailamos. So you want to bear that in mind. So yes,
Or you
subject
might
verb
have
agreement.
two actions that you're gonna do. Voy a bailar y cantar. And you may make the
See,
mistake and you say voy a bailar y canto. Those are
yes, it's true.
common and simple mistakes.
Yes.
Ser de star,
See,
por
when to
and
use
para.
there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ser
And
de star.
shameless plug here, but here in the CSEC playlist, because I'm gonna put this also in the CSEC playlist. You already have videos on Ser and Star here. You already have tips that you should remember. So just check out the playlist here, and it should help you. But yes, sometimes we're writing, we make some mistakes, and we just no. Remember, this is going to, not to put any pressure on you, but
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be the grade that you're getting.
So por and para, the personal a,
See,
that's another one. So you know if you're visiting grandma, you need that
see,
personal a right there.
see,
Watch out for accents.
see. For
There are
some
some
people,
common
over put
words.
or don't put.
Mm-hmm. I have students that put it on every word. Oh, two accents in one word. I mean, I say, how? Like,
Because
who
they say, oh,
taught
I
you
don't.
that?
Yes, overgeneralization. Oh, I don't
Yeah,
want to not have any accents, and now I put in accents where it shouldn't be. So you want to bear those things in mind. Yes.
yes. And then you tick all your cues again just to ensure that none was omitted.
See. So I hope you guys are listening and you have your cues. So now I know we were armed today. Even if you came here not knowing how to write a letter, you know how to put your date. You got examples of greetings, you got examples of how a sample letter, and you also got closing, and you got so ensure that you pay attention. If you want to watch this 2 3 times, you can, but ensure that You can't leave today, May 28th, and say you don't know how to write a letter. Not at all. Not after Mrs. Blair Allen took her time and she went step by step and she showed you how to write your letter.
So at least, guys, ensure that you have 50 perfect words and a perfect letter structure going into CXC June 3. You can at least have that part down pat. The other 100 will worry about itself.
Yes, June
Ensure
6th,
that
because
the structure
some
is
of some, some of them just you're just June 6th.
in
6th.
6.
Yeah.
Okay, June 6. Whoops.
For C6. Yes. Because somebody over
Why
there
you keep
said,
saying
what?
June
I
3?
have to maybe Cape or something. I don't know when it's Cape though. Maybe another
Okay,
one. Maybe
okay.
another exam is the third. But
6. June
I
6.
saw
Okay.
somebody, I can tell, I saw somebody at their house be like, oh God, we have 3 less days. No, it's
My bad, my bad.
so guys, you are going to be writing your letters now. You can write your letters and we want to see what you come up with. You can let us know after you put it under the comment section if you want. Show us what you came up with. But as Stephanie said at the beginning, si se puede. You can. It's not too late. You still have time. Just keep practicing, practicing, practicing. And remember, you only fail when you stop trying. So if it's 10 times and you don't stop, you have not failed. You only fail when you stop trying, and the only person that can stop you is you. La única persona que puede detenerte eres tú. Well, muchísimas gracias, Stephanie. Fue un placer. Siempre es un placer. And I can tell you, I learned something today, so I'm sure that they learned something today. So, guys, once again, remember, keep practicing. And is there anything else that you want to say to them?
I just want to let you know that it's not too late. I got a grade 1, straight A
Mhm.
profile after that big blunder 1 month before. So you have time. Just focus, believe in yourself,
See it?
and practice. It takes time to brew perfection, and you can definitely do it. It's not
Right.
hard, it's a little challenging, but you can definitely do well. I have faith in you.
Yes. So it's now just for you to have that faith in yourself. And your teachers already, if you're signed up for the subject, that means somebody believed in you also. Um, So have yourselves a wonderful day. Tengan ustedes un buen día. Otra vez, muchísimas gracias. Thank you for joining us, Mrs. Blair Allen, master teacher. Pray to God for your three. Okay, well, pray to God for your three, but don't worry. You can work for a one because we aim for the sky. We don't just settle for mediocrity. Excellence is the minimum standard. So have yourselves a wonderful day, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Again, thank you, muchísimas gracias. And feel free, you can leave a comment below the video after you've written your letter or share your letter. And thank you. Muchísimas gracias. Adios.
Ciao.
Mommy, gracias.